Frank, if we could just start away from the game first of all, a difficult weekend for football. We've seen the tragic scenes at Leicester City. Your thoughts, I'm sure.
Yeah, devastating news. And myself, everybody at Derby County Football Club, pass on our thoughts and our condolences to the families of everybody involved. And to the club as a whole, because it's been an incredible story. I'm reading this morning all the quotes of the players and the people at Leicester speaking so highly of the man, which shows the effect he had and what a caring, good man he was. And it's just devastating news. Yeah, we support Leicester, we support their fans, we support the families involved. Very sad weekend.
To see an age in football where we hear so many bad stories about club chairmen and owners, as you say, the stories coming out of Leicester just, paint him as a very highly thought of man. Yeah, completely. Working in the community, caring for people, things that are easily forgotten in the football world, that we sometimes talk about it being a money crazy, cutthroat world. And then you forget there are certain individuals in there amongst there that are doing just great things, and then something like this happens. So, perspective for all of us who work at football clubs, and we're stressed and we're thinking about football results, and then you go, there's real perspective. So, yeah, a sad weekend for us all. And as players and a manager as well, can it be really important to have that link with the chairman, to have such a close relationship? Yeah,
without a doubt. I think it's. I have a chairman and owner here that really cares about this club, and I appreciate that. We want to be successful here, and they put so much time and effort and care and contact, day to day, week to week stuff. So I understand the link and the ties. I had it at Chelsea for many years, an owner that came in and revolutionised the club and changed it and lived huge moments with us. And Leicester had a huge moment together as well. So I understand that we're all so thankful. If you're a Leicester fan, you're a Chelsea fan, we're Derby fans, we're thankful to our owners and we hold them dearly, and that's what makes this so sad for them as a club.
And also sad weekend as well with the news of Glenn Hoddle being rushed to hospital. Was that a huge shock to you?
Yeah, a huge shock. I heard after our Middlesbrough game, it's certainly put in perspective my disappointment about not winning it at that point. And I grew up idolising Glenn Hoddle as a player, an England player. I was fortunate enough to work with him in the media a lot last year, and his knowledge of the game and his willingness to help and speak to you and give you words of advice was something that took me back over the year. I loved Glenn Hoddle as a player and as a man, and we're fingers crossed that the recent sort of news of that he's hopefully getting a bit better. I'm sure it's a bit of a road of recovery for him. And wow, the man who you read reports of that helped him, talk about heroes. Let's hope Glenn's fine.
On to the game, a big game, I'm sure personally for you, your players, the club. How are you feeling preparing to return to Chelsea as a manager?
Well, I'm preparing, so I'm working hard. That's my job, to try and prepare us, to give as good a account of ourselves as we can. They all want to play this game. We're very fit and ready in general terms. But yeah, it's a special occasion for myself, also for Jody Morris and Chris Jones, who both worked there for a long time. But yeah, for my playing career, for my affiliation with the club, the bond I had with the fans and people behind the scenes there, it's a special draw for me to be able to go back and see people behind the scenes and see 40,000 plus friends in the stadium.
Are you a man that gets quite emotional? Will it be an emotional night?
Yeah, I am. I'm more emotional as I've got older, I think. These things catch you because you realise in life, what the important part of Chelsea in my life, how important it was. I mean, what I owe for that, in terms of thanks. Sometimes those moments can catch you when the business starts, and I want to prepare the team and try and see how well we can do on the night. But in terms of arriving and seeing people and walking out at Stamford Bridge, not out onto the pitch, but to be there, would be very special for me.
You must have thought when you stepped into life as a manager that this day would perhaps come, but I'm sure you didn't expect it to be so soon.
No, I didn't expect to go up against Jose Mourinho, and I didn't expect to go to Stamford Bridge and put my team up against Chelsea. But I'm delighted on both fronts. Obviously, to go to Manchester United was one thing, and but the opportunity to go here so soon, yeah, it's big for me. It's big for the players. We've got a lot of young players here and a lot of experienced players who are very driven and want to play in the Premier League and against Premier League teams. So they deserve the occasion and the opportunity to go up against what is a fantastic Chelsea side, no matter who they put out on the night.
What have you thought to Chelsea's start to the season and start to life under Sarri as well?
Very impressive. Sarri's very impressive. And I think he's, and I can feel it here because I've worked, not to say the staff here, everybody, the players have worked very hard from the start of pre-season to change certain things, as managers tend to do when they come in. And I know the work that has to go in to try and make those changes, and to see Chelsea change style in ways, to see them hit the ground running and get results. I know that's just work. That's work on the training ground. So Maurizio Sarri has made his imprint so far. It's a great start for them. And that's why we're coming up against a very strong, well-drilled but talented team.
Do you see them as true title contenders this season?
Yeah, I do. I see them in a mix of teams who are very strong up there. Manchester City, we all know. Liverpool, we know, are strong. Tottenham are very strong. But Chelsea is certainly in with a shout, and without singling people out, because they're a very strong squad. But with Eden Hazard in his form that he's been in at the start of the season, they've got an absolutely outstanding player in world football at the moment in their team, and let's hope he wants a rest on Wednesday night.
There are doubts over him. Are you keeping everything close?
I think he's scared of coming up against my team. I think he's scared of how I'm going to nullify his threat. No, I love Eden Hazard. I've got huge respect for him, of course. I hope he uses a bit more time to rest and make sure he's fully fit for the weekend ahead. But at the same time, I want my players to go up against the best. So if he starts, if he's on the bench, what a challenge. All of us, the defenders, a right back who may be going up against Eden Hazard facing you down. That's great with some of the young players we've got.
Is he the best in the world right now?
Well, on current form, with Messi injured, so I can take him out because I can never really put anyone above Messi. You shouldn't do. And Ronaldo, of course, he's at his new club. But I think on current form and his Premier League form, yes. But that's fluid. That does change because top players, someone else can be outstanding. But I've known it since the day Eden Hazard arrived at Chelsea. I could see the potential, the natural ability, and he's matured as a man. He's matured as a player, and I love watching him. And you don't have to be a Chelsea fan to say that. I absolutely love watching him. And I think there's probably more to come from Eden Hazard.
You do think he can get even better?
Yeah, he's in his prime. He's 27, I think. He's working under managers and the ethics of training and how he can improve. People have sometimes gone, well, can he do more? I think he's getting to levels now. You go, actually, yeah, he certainly is doing more, and that's down to work ethic alongside that outrageous talent that he has as a player. So I don't see any reason why he won't get better.
Obviously, his form has brought inevitable speculation, constant speculation about his future. Would it be a shame to lose him from this country?
Yes, because we love watching him, and he's the main man at Chelsea, and so Chelsea want to keep him. The Premier League wants to keep him.
If he isn't on the pitch this week, who else will be the biggest threats in your team to watch out for?
I don't know how long you got, but. They're a collective, so there are threats from everywhere, which is the problem with good teams. Willian, Pedro, Giroud, Morata, Ross Barkley playing well if he plays. Loftus-Cheek hat-trick last week. Drive from midfield, very well drilled as a collective unit. So it'd be pointless me trying to pick out one thing when we approach this game. We have to approach taking on their whole team and all the facets of it.
A lot of talk of the young players in your team and their fearless attitude. Will they need to be fearless this week?
Yeah, fearless and focused. Because they're good players. We've got good young players here, and it was the same as I said before. Old Trafford. I don't want the game passing anyone by. And that's the worst feeling ever as a player when you go to a big occasion and you get home and afterwards and you think, oh, I didn't get hold of that at all. It didn't grip it. And Manchester United, every player on the pitch did. And that's all I want to come away with. I'm not concerned with result at this point. I'm concerned with the players, not just the young players, everybody, that they turn up focused and give it everything.
You've got Mount and Tamori, obviously, who can play against their parent club. It could be a very special night for them.
Yeah, and they deserve that. They should thank Chelsea. They should thank me for making all the calls to try and persuade Chelsea. But I know they would have been devastated not to play. And I have to say, I think it was a classy move and the right move from Chelsea, because they are Chelsea players, and this is an incredible occasion for them to test themselves and take on board. So I think everyone is a winner in principle going into it.
You talked about seeing Hazard as a young player and knowing he was going to be something special. Do you see that in Mason Mount? How special can he be? Yeah,
he can be very special. And those things are always easier to say, like I did about Hazard after the event. You know, I don't want to heap that on Mason, but all the signs are there in terms of his quality, his talent, and his work rate. Because this, the thing with Mason is, even if he's having a game where we can't always be absolutely affecting everything with the ball, his work rate without the ball is outstanding. And I think that's what sets him out as a young player for me at the moment. And he'll improve. He's 19, so great test for him to go up against a strong Chelsea team.
You know lots of people there still, I'm sure. Have you had many conversations about this game?
Yeah. I've spoken to some friends and staff, people who are aware there. Billy McCulloch, the masseur, who's a sort of famous in-house at Chelsea for his personality, and Teresa, who works there in the press. Everybody knows Teresa, who goes to Chelsea over the years, been there longer than all of us. I could name them. A lot of people that are the core of the club, they're the heartbeat of the club. So I've had a few conversations, but to see them face to face will be great.
How do you think you will feel stepping out there, being on the touchline?
I'll feel proud and honoured to be taking my team and going to a place that I called home for 13 years and still feels like home. You know, this is my working home now, and I've got a great affiliation with this club already. I'm working hard to try and do something good here, and I love it here. But I can't forget 13 years of my career. It was a very special time for me. I was lucky to be part of such a strong era in the club with all the infrastructure that we came with Roman Abramovich, and so it will feel a very special night for me to be back there and feel the atmosphere once again.
And when you were starting out thinking of becoming a coach, a manager, did you dream of perhaps one day being manager at Chelsea? No, because I'm pragmatic with those things, and I don't see anything beyond Chelsea. And then once Chelsea's gone, I'll see Birmingham at the weekend, and I know that in football it's only your next game is the only important thing. So to dream of those things would be one thing, but in reality it's what I do here. I want to be successful here. I'm not going ahead to any future role or idea, because it will rely on what I do here, what happens next, and hopefully this is something I can bring success to this club. That's what I want to do. Thanks.
Frank, just a quick one from me on Saturday night's events, because it resonated here, being in the East Midlands, being a rival of Derby County, Forest of course as well, and we did see scenes of Derby fans and Forest fans joining together to lay flowers in a tragic scenario. That they were heartwarming scenes.
Yeah, well, you know, it's football and then there's life, and of course we are so invested in our football and our clubs that sometimes we forget that there are things much more important, and sometimes these things, if there is anything to come out of them, it's the idea of bringing people together. Quite right that Derby fans would be doing that and feeling that way. We as a club are. Our flags are at half-mast at the stadium, and we all feel for them, and that's important in these moments.
Has it been difficult for you to separate the emotion of Wednesday, which will obviously be a big moment for you, and your desire to win a game of football?
To be honest, no. At this point, no. The emotions will kick in. I'm excited for the game, but I'm not, bubbling with emotions now. I'm actually thinking about how I can, organise the team to be as good as they can against Chelsea. So the emotions will be something for me to deal with on the night. But my job, and this is the same for every game we play, is to prep going into it. I actually can sit more comfortably on the sidelines when I know I've prepped as well as I could have done, or I feel like I have. So I'm in that process at the minute, and then come the game, I'll obviously enjoy the emotions, but it's business.
You said going into Manchester United that it wouldn't be too difficult a selection for you, given how well your team played. What about this game? Similar feelings?
No, because the team are playing well, and I've kept the same team now for a few games generally. But I have to say that people are training well also. And the only way to force your way into a team that are playing well is to train at your best and show me every day here, which is what the outside world don't always see. But I'm massive on training, and if players are training and knocking on the door, then they make my selection more difficult.
You said, maybe in jest, that it took Chelsea a lot of persuasion to play Mason Mount and Fikayo Tomori. Was the dialogue difficult with them? Were you constantly saying, look, please?
No, I wasn't. I made a call, I asked a question, and they went away and came back and told me, yeah, over a bit of a period. So the conversations were all theirs. It was their decision completely. I'm not a person that bothers people till I get what I want, especially when I know my place and it's their player. So I'm just thankful that their conversations come back positive for us.
I'm assuming Mason is okay. You know, you took him off midway through the second half.
We'll see.
And anyone else to be worried about?
No fresh worries. We were the squad that we were at the weekend.